Did you know the key to a beautiful garden and a bountiful harvest lies in doing a few essential chores for the garden? Stay tuned. Step number one is to look in your garden and make sure that you do not have any weeds. Having weeds in your garden will make it very difficult for the plants to compete with the weeds and for the nutrients that they need. So little things like this, you should be able to pick out. So what I do approximately every 2 weeks is walk through the garden and look for weeds. And if I have any, I can pick them out by hand. Or if there's a abundance of them, I can take a hand tool, a hand trowel, or something along those lines and dig them out. Now here we have some weeds that I can just pull up. Pine needles and pine cones and stuff like that. Being that I'm growing up under a bunch of trees like those, I'm not so much concerned about. I can pull those out by hand, and they're not really that much of a problem. But weeds can and will become a problem. You can also see various types of mushrooms here. The mushrooms aren't really an issue, so sometimes I will knock them down, and sometimes I won't. Mainly, the mushrooms show that you have healthy soil. Hey, step number 2 consists of looking and checking for any type of insect infestation. Here at my black kale, it looks as if we have something that is really going to school on 2 of my plants. So in this container, hopefully you can see it. In this container, I have diatomaceous earth. Basically, it's a fossil shell flour that is ground up, and I'm going to spread it all over my plants. The diatomaceous earth will get into the exoskeleton of the insects and kill them without killing any of the beneficial insects. So something is really, really enjoying my lettuce. So I'm going to go ahead and walk around all the other beds and the containers. And if I see a infestation, I'm going to do the same thing that we did here. Step number 3, or chore number 3, is watering on a routine schedule. Not having a routine schedule and just watering every so often puts your plants under stress and will not allow them to reach their fullest potential. Now, I water approximately every 3 days, and because of that, the reason behind that is because of growing in raised beds. They tend to dry out faster than in-ground plants. So every 3 days is when I water. However, recently we have had lots and lots of rain. So I haven't been watering as often as what I normally do, which really hasn't hurt my plants or anything like that because they're still getting the water. What has been a little different, when I do water, my drip system is connected to my um, injector system, and I feed them AgroThrive General Purpose every time I water. So they haven't been fed like they are used to. So that's going to lead into step number 4, or chore number 4, maintaining a good feeding schedule. Now, normally, if I'm not using the injector, or even if I am using the injector because it's only a minute amount of AgroThrive they're getting, once every 2 weeks is when I feed the plants. And I use 2 versions of the AgroThrive. One is for the fruit and flowers, and I will be showing you that momentarily. And the other is the general purpose. So with the fruit and flower, I'm going to show you how I mix it together and then how I feed the plants. So in this bucket, we have 5 gallons of water. We have my AgroThrive fruit and flower. I'm going to shake it up. And we're going to pour about a cup. And we're going to stir it up using my shovel. Don't laugh. And we're going to take my 2-quart pitcher. I'm going to fill it up. And we're going to pour some around the roots of each plant that sits fruit. So here, everywhere, every plant, with the exception of the corn, sits fruit. And just like that, we have fed 4 plants. Then go ahead and do the rest of the plants that sit. So this is what I use to feed the plants that sit fruit. It's from AgroThrive. It's all organic. If you're interested in it, I am affiliated with them. There's a link in the description portion of the video and also on my website, which is also in the description portion of the video. Here, I'm going to go ahead and side dress my corn. It's time for them to be side dressed. So what I'm going to do is slowly dig a little trench around each or near each plant, and I'm going to put in some Nature Safe 1300 high in nitrogen, which is what we want for the corn. And then we're going to cover it back up. Okay, we've gotten the fertilizer in place. In the bucket here, we have compost, and I'm just going to spread it around the plants. What I'm looking at is a big bee. Now, while I'm grateful to have the bees, I don't want to get stung by one. And just like that, we have fed and composted the corn. Okay, the fifth chore that you should be doing to have a beautiful garden and a healthy harvest is making sure that you do the harvest. If you leave your fruit and vegetables on the plant too long, the plant will think it's time for everything to go to seed and will start doing so. And eventually, the plant will think that its life is over and prepare to die. So, whenever you have stuff that is ripe, make sure that you harvest it immediately so that the plant keeps producing. And after all, that's what we want it to do. Now, I'll give you one more also, the sixth one or the extra one. If you're dealing with flowers, make sure you deadhead your flowers. Some of you may ask, what's deadheading? Deadheading is taking flowers that have bloomed and now have dried up or shriveled, pinching them off. So again, the plant produces more flowers. Otherwise, it will try to go to seed and think that its life is spent and expire. And we don't necessarily want that to happen. Let's review. Chore number one, make sure you check for weeds. It's very difficult for your plants to compete with weeds for the sparse nutrients that are in the soil. So remove the weeds. Number two, check for plant infestation. Check for pest infestation. Pests will destroy your plants immediately. Caterpillars, vine borers, anything of the like, they will eat your plants and kill them. Also, for those of you that live in areas that have slugs and snails, check for those as well. Number three, make sure that you're watering your plants on a routine schedule. For me, mine schedule is usually 3 times a week, once every three days. But since we've had a lot of rain recently, haven't been able to do that. But because we've had the rain, I haven't had to use the drip system. Number four, make sure you're feeding your plants. And if you're feeding them on a routine schedule, for me, that's every 2 weeks. And lastly, number five, harvest what you can when you can. Do not leave your harvest on the leaves or on the limbs long. The plant will think that it's time to go to seed and think that its lifespan has come and will die. So I hope you got something out of this. I've learned these 5 tips, these 5 steps along the way during my course of gardening. And it's become very beneficial and useful, and I wanted to share it with you all. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, take a moment to consider doing so. If this is your first time here, I hope you enjoyed the video and would think about subscribing. If you do, don't forget to hit the like button and the notification bell all, so you'll be notified whenever I upload new content. For my returning viewers, I am forever grateful to you all. You guys have pushed this channel to new and greater heights, and I'm forever in your debt. Lastly, and most importantly, always give the thanks to God. Even in small spaces such as mine, you can grow a lot of food. Stay blessed, stay strong, and grow, grow, grow. Without God, we are nothing. Until next time, take care.